Hi guys, so today we're going to try some new bits out, but also some new techniques. I want to show you a technique that I found for making I want to show you a technique I found for making really natural looking faux freckles. I tried it yesterday for the first time, so hopefully it works out as well today. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my skin quickly. I'm going to use this Sienna Gentle Cleansing Milk just to get any sort of shit off my face before we start. It's so hot today and sunny, and Jesus, it's been really like nice weather the last few days where we are. I hope, well I don't hope, I wonder what it's like where everyone else is. And also all of our like restrictions are easing. There's like people in pub gardens everywhere. There's just so many people. I actually had my haircut last, when was it, Saturday? I had my haircut on Saturday, and the hair salon was just like chock-a-block of people, and none of them were wearing masks. So things are like really proper eased up where we are, but I don't think people have been taking it seriously for like a while. There's like all of these like flyers and stickers that keep appearing everywhere saying like do yourselves and each other a favor, it's like meet, mingle, shake hands, share microbes, protect each other and that sort of thing, which is just silly. But since we've had like the hot weather, there's just like people everywhere. And I don't like it. Like, I've always had social anxiety, but like just with the like pandemic, I do just wish that people took it a bit more seriously. Then I have these two things that I got from Sienna, which is Lidl. So they're both sheet masks. They've got the moisturising and refreshing. No, moisturising and relaxing. This is for normal to combination skin. Or I've got the hydrating and refreshing, which is for very dry skin. So I think I'll probably put on this one for combo skin, because as I mentioned, it's quite hot today, so like my skin's already like kind of oily. It has green tea extract, allantoin and hyaluronic acid. Provides moisture for smooth and matte skin. It smells, ooh, it smells kind of strong. Don't know what of. It smells kind of like refreshing, if that makes sense. So we have the sheet mask. I don't know if there's a specific side you're supposed to use of these, but I'm just gonna, and then I'm gonna leave this for 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll come back and we can see if it's made any difference, if it stops sliding down my face. I feel like I feel like my features are too like close together for these. They're not the right shape for my face. So it's been 15 minutes, so let's take this off. Ooh. And then I'm just gonna rub the rest of this into my face. It's quite a lot left over. It feels so good though. It feels like so cool and refreshing, especially on a day like today where it's like super warm. Ooh. Don't mind the gremlins. It looks and feels like quite plump and hydrated, but I do also think it looks like smoother like on my nose. Like it doesn't look as like textury and porey as it does normally. I'm just gonna finish off my skincare. So putting on some of this Essence Hello Good Stuff Depuff Eye Serum. I love this, especially in the morning when my eyes are all puffy, because they always are, because I don't know, even if I've had like a really good night's sleep, they're still puff. And like it is so thin, you do not need a lot of it. So I feel like I'm fairly certain that this tube is gonna last me like a year. So next new thing is I picked up this. This is the Sienna Sun Anti-Aging Face Sun Cream. It's got 30 SPF. So high protection for sensitive fair skin. So I thought Sienna's were coming into hot weather, and literally everyone that I watch on YouTube is like, you have to wear SPF. I thought that I would give this one a go. The main thing I'm worried about is I'm kind of worried that it's just going to smell like sun cream and it's going to leave like a white cast everywhere. It doesn't smell like sun cream. It smells like a herb. It smells kind of herby. Oh, it's got a bit of like pull as I'm trying to like get it over my face. I don't feel like my face feels like too greasy. It definitely feels a little greasier than like normal, but it also feels like a little tacky. But I don't feel like I have a white cast or anything. I think it still looks good. So now we'll do the brows, and I am using today the e.l.f. Wow Brow in neutral brown. This is teeny tiny. I mentioned it in my last video that I had picked it up. Treacle, can you please cease and desist? Anyway, that was a few days ago. I have actually tried this out a couple of times. I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as like I thought it would. As much as I thought I would, or like as much as it was sort of like hyped up, but I think it's good. I think it's nice. So it's very small to start off with. Then you take it out and you have the brush, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it has like little fibers on the brush that you can actually see. So I'm just going to run this through. So I always do this before my pencil now because I use less product, and I feel like I can see better what actually needs doing, and then they end up looking more natural. I just use it to like fluff it up. So as you can see, it's got more colour to it. It does look thicker and obviously more stood up, and I can see where I need to fill in better now. So then I will go in with my pencil. Just going to use my XX Fine Brow Pencil, and just where there's like little gaps, that's the only places that I will fill in now. So I just quickly whited out my eyelids. I got a little bit of concealer in the tail of my eyebrow, so I'm going to take my Sabole. I might use this palette. This is by Technic. It's the Trend Setter palette. Yeah, I think I might use this, you know. I'm going to take to my crease. This one. So like warm. I think I'm going to go for like a nice warm look today. And this palette by Technic is like super pigmented. So I'm just tapping in it gently, and yeah. And these are pressed pigments, so they work a bit better on like a sticky base. So for example, an unset eye primer. I literally used today the Poundland Makeup Gallery Hide and Chic Multi-Use Concealer. I really love this for priming my eyelids. I think it does a really good job. That was one thing that I also wanted to do. So in this video I'm gonna try some new things and some new techniques, but I'm definitely gonna use like quite a few favorite products of this month, well, just recently. And the Poundland concealer is definitely a favorite. I've really been enjoying it for eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna take some of the mustard like yellow shade right next to it, just sort of go around it. I'm gonna take this like really warm orangey brown. I'd say it's sort of like a terracotta shade. I'm literally just like tapping. I'm not really like blending or doing any movements, just literally like tapping it on into like the basic shape I want, and then I will blend in a sec. So I'm just gonna like tap my finger into the taupey one, and then the sort of like more yellowish one. Just put it right in the middle. That is gorgeous. It's really nice. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm just going to quickly pop on this Collection Gloss Me Up lip gloss. So this has been a definite favourite for me. I put it on before I do my makeup, and it really like nourishes my lips, and it plumps them up as well, so that by the time it comes to applying a lip product. My lips look like nice and juicy. This is sort of the only way I've been using it and the main way for me. I'm using it almost as like a lip balm. But then I'm gonna go ahead and take my Essence Liquid Inks. This is a brown liner. And I'm just gonna, I think, just take a thin line. Just so that when I put mascara on my lash band, it's like a little more intensified. And this liner again has been sort of like a favourite recently. I think the formula is really good, and I only have it in the brown colour, but I would really love to own it in the other colours, particularly the black shade, because I have another black liner from Essence, but it is not very good. Like, it doesn't have the best pigment or opacity to it, whereas this is super easy to put on, and it is definitely pigmented and opaque, and it also lasts really well. The other one, like, I don't think it's waterproof. Then a definite favorite, like, recently is my W7 Perfection Pore Minimizing Primer. When I first tried this out, I wasn't like sure of it. Like, I wasn't sure if it filled in pores. Like, I thought that it disrupted my foundation, and I kept comparing it to the NYX Pore Filler, which is like a really similar like texture to this. It's like dry and pasty, and I would say that the NYX one sort of like molded together a little easier than this. This one still like flies and falls apart even when you've sort of like massaged it together. Look like I got a big bogey there. But this fills in your pores really nicely. It leaves me feeling so smooth and looking so smooth. And it also really helps my foundation stay all day and really adhere, especially to places that I have a lot of oil, such as like my nose will become really oily over time, like throughout the day, and it will really sort of like wear down the product. Why can't I speak? The foundation mix that I want to use today is rediscovered. It's a rediscovered foundation, which is this Natural Collection Hydrating and Radiance Foundation. I have mine in the shade Porcelain. As you might see, it's a bit too dark for me, so I'm mixing a little bit of my Revolution Conceal and Glow, which is in the shade F1, which is a little bit too light for me. So this foundation, the collection one, the Natural Collection one, I have loved since I tried it. I think it has a beautiful finish, really hydrating, feels great on the skin, and it also has like a really good amount of coverage to it. Whereas this Revolution Conceal and Glow, I'm not the biggest fan of this on its own, and I'm not the biggest fan of it on my skin when I put it directly on my skin. But if I apply it to my hand first, which is what I'm going to do today, then it doesn't feel as bad on my skin. Like, it sometimes, if you just like squirt straight onto your face, this will feel really sticky, and it also has quite a strong smell to it. The next thing we have to try is a sponge. This is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, so it's a lot bigger than when I showed you it in my last video. But I've used this a few times as well. I wanted to see what I thought of it, and I have to say that I think this is the best sponge that I've ever tried. I will say it. Like, it has a really porous like texture. Like, I don't know if you can see all of the little pores to it, like way more than any sponge I've ever tried. And it just, like, the way that it puts products on my skin is better than any other thing that I have tried. Also, quick side note, look at the coverage of this foundation. Like, they're both really like lightweight and natural, like radiant ones, but they still have some good coverage when they're mixed. It mainly comes from the Natural Collection foundation though. Anyway, this sponge, I feel like the way it blends stuff out on my skin like is so beautiful. It doesn't absorb too much product, because like a lot of sponges can take away like quite a lot of the coverage from something, whereas this doesn't do it. This like gives me pretty much optimum coverage. It blends stuff out without looking patchy or streaky or anything like that. it's such a good sponge. It feels like so nice bouncing across my face. It's so soft. It diffuses stuff really well. Like, you honestly don't even have to put any like effort into blending. It's just like, oh, 2 bounces and you're done. Like, look at my pores. Look at what the primer is doing for me. Look at how well this like goes over, how good it covers. Then for concealer, my favourite recently has been this Essence Skin Loving Sensitive Concealer. So this concealer, I really like it. I like the colour of it. Like, it's not too brightening for me, but it definitely does brighten. It has really nice coverage to it. Like, it's not full coverage. It's more sort of like natural matte medium, if that makes sense. But I really like the finish of it, really like the coverage of it. I really like the way it wears throughout the day. Just like, look at the difference. Like, I look brightened and like awake, but it's not like too stark. And where I'm using a more sort of natural medium coverage foundation as opposed to like a really thick high coverage matte foundation, I feel like I need a concealer that is sort of the same vibe. And this one, just like the way it looks and feels on my under eyes, like, it's so thin, it feels like there's nothing there, which is really good for me because I'm getting like, you know, I'm getting like lines and stuff. I think everyone has fine lines under here and it just does not accentuate them. But my skin like looks flawless, but it looks like skin. Like, it doesn't look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup. If you ignore my eyeshadow, like, it looks like I just have a really healthy complexion. So what I've been loving for setting my makeup and the longevity of my makeup is the W7 Micro Matte Fix Powder. I have mine in the shade Light, and I take a dry sponge, dip directly in, get it like nice and covered, and then I just go straight in with this. This just helps so much with creasing and staying, and it just looking like flawless and good all day. My favourite bronzer, you probably can guess this if you've watched my last couple videos, is this Essence Mosaic Compact Powder. I have mine in 01 Sunkissed Beauty. I think this is such a nice tone. I just like swirl all around in there. It has like a bit of a shimmer to it, but nothing crazy. And I just think that this tone is just so natural for me. Then for blush, this is a rediscovered favourite. Going into my Revolution and Maxinexica, I never know how to pronounce this palette. And I'm going to use the blush out of here, which is called Love's Hue. And it's just a really beautiful like shade. It's just like dusty mauvey rose. It's really beautiful. Like, this blush is so good for that like sunburn effect that is sort of like really popular at the moment. I have to say that I'm actually really loving it, and I'm loving playing around with blush because like I never used to wear blush. I have rosacea, so I was always really like worried about looking red and anyone seeing that I had rosacea, but I've really been enjoying like playing around with it, and I think it looks super cute. Like, it does, it looks adorable. I think by now you all know my favourite is Essence of the highlighter in 01 Mesmerizing. I actually used a different highlight yesterday. I used the one from this palette and it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. Now is the time that we're all excited for. I know I'm the most excited for it, which is faux freckle time. So for the faux freckles, I take this, which is like a foundation stick. I think it's from Makeup Obsession. It could be from Makeup Revolution, you know, they're sister brands. I have mine in the shade D03, which is like a really warm toned brown. You can see the little spikes in it. And I take, this is our tweezer set, the Makey tweezer set. It has like 4 tweezers tweezers in here, like a little scissor set and a little spoolie. I take these purple ones. You see they have sort of like little spikes almost at the end. I take the spike, I dig literally directly into here, and then on your finger, just to start off with, just literally like press it on. So you can use anything that has sort of like a point. It literally does not have to be tweezers. So you just put it on your finger, and then you can sort of like tap this over your face. So that's one way to do it. But the way that I actually prefer better is to just dig your thing into your product and then go directly to the face. Now these like tweezer things are good because obviously there's two of them and they're quite a distance apart, that where I'm making dots it seems quite natural, because I'm sure, as you all know, like freckles come in like clusters. And I know that you can buy like freckle pens and stuff, but like I wasn't even sure if I would like the faux freckled look on myself. I find it really cute on other people, but I didn't know if I was going to like it on my own face. So I wanted a way to sort of like try it before I invested in a freckle pen. And I really like it. And I admit that a freckle pen would be easier. But like if you're in a pinch or you want to try it to see like if you think you would look cute with freckles, then this is like a good way to do it. Okay, so once you sort of like the amount of dots that you've done, then you can take your finger and just tap over. Like not too hard, because then like you'll sort of get rid of them. Because that's what I kept doing when I tried it the first time. Like I would be like, no, they're too visible. So then I'd like tap, 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 and then I'd tap them away. Obviously they still need to be a bit visible, that's kind of the point. Or you can always just take your blender and just bounce over a little if you want to sort of like take away a little of the intensity. And then we sort of have some faux frecks going on. I'm going to add just a couple more to this side because I feel like there's more on that side. And also if you do them sort of in two layers, so like you do the first layer, have a little dab over it, do a second layer, then obviously you're going to end up with some that are more, what the hell am I trying to say? You're going to end up with some that are darker and some that are lighter, which is how you sort of get like a natural freckly look. Then I'm going to take a bit of my Technic vitamin C powder. I just sort of dab over my frecks. Because I'm using like a foundation, which I use as a cream contour, obviously it sort of needs to be set, otherwise it's going to be sliding all over the place like throughout the day. So I always like to sort of like double set my face. I use a sponge and a pressed powder to get sort of like really in some areas, and then I'll use a powder like this to sort of do the rest of the face. For under the eyes, I'm literally going to mix the shades that we use, all three of them. So the yellow, the transition and the deeper. Just going to mix them all on my brush. Let's do an inner highlight corner quickly. That was not even English. Let's do an inner corner highlight quickly. I'm just going to take the light one over here with sort of like a yellowy undertone, and I'm going to spray my brush, I think. I'm just using setting spray, but you could literally just like dip your brush in water if you want. To finish up, I'm just going to do myself some mascara, and then I will come back and do the lips with you. A+ if you can guess what mascara I used today. Let's just finish off super quick with the lips. So for lipstick, I'm going to use this Revolution Pro lipstick. This is in the shade Bare 114 Naked Beauty, and I thought that this would just go really pretty with the eyes today. It's sort of like a nudish brownish orange tone. So then I'm just going to take a little of my Technic Glossy top in the shade Shimmy. I haven't used this in it's been a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I'm also not gonna lie and say that I think I'm out. Like, I don't think there's anything left in here. I think I need a new one. Let's see if I can get any on here. And to finish off, let's do a spritz of my W7 Flower Power Peony. This is how everything looks, all nice and up close for you. I think it's stunning. And yeah, I am super happy with my makeup today. So yeah, let me know if you try the faux freckle thing. I'd really love to know. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, and thank you for hanging out with me. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And yeah, now I will see you in the next video. Bye.